You're a third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Another list video today, and this time the listing is for the top 5 fusion decks in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. It's only fitting to also make one for all the synchro decks before the new XYZ monsters arrive, so expect that to come as well at some point. As always, you can leave suggestions with more Duel Links topics you want me to discuss in the comments down below. Fusion monsters have been in the game since day one, along with ritual monsters of course. A lot of fusion monsters in the game, but not a huge amount of those have been meta viable. Fusion decks did not really have anything going for them before the GX world came out, but after the GX release and some relatively recent additions, the list will feature some really strong contenders. So let's dive into it. Number 5. Gladiator Beasts. A control-based deck that had great success after its release. It was introduced in the Galactic Origin main box, but keeps getting support even today in recent boxes and structure decks. Unfortunately, not super meta relevant anymore, but I can see it being a rogue deck at best, with the correct build of course. At its peak though, it introduced a new archetype with a new way to fuse, Contact Fusion, meaning you can fusion by just having the correspondent monsters on your side of the field and then returning them to your deck. Gladiator Beasts also had the unique effect of being able to special summon another Gladiator Beast monster from your deck after the monster on the field had been evolved in a battle and survived it. These factors made them strong enough to not only hang with Amazones in the meta back then, but even get numerous top 10 regional spots in the second stages of the KC Cup. Esedari and Nerokius were their main fusion options, and of course we cannot forget about the Holy Trinity of Laquari, the Beatstick, Bestiari, the Backrow Destroyer, and Murmillo, the Monster Destroyer. All the GB decks you would come up against ran those three for sure. After their peak reign, more support has been added, but because of their slow playstyle, Gladiator Beasts have never really been back in the meta full force. They had a glimpse a couple of months back with a new EX deck introduced, which made them a lot better, but not 100% capable to cope with the rest of the fast-paced current meta. Number 4. Red Eyes. With the power of Red Eyes / Dragon, the Red Eyes archetype has left its mark in the fusion meta for sure. / Dragon was introduced at first in the Resonance of Contrast mini-box, and since then it has been featured in a selection box and also in a structure deck. Most of the player base has played Red Eyes at some point, either in its early form with Spirit, or later with Insight, or even more recently in the latest KC Cup for example, where the deck found some success in both the first and the second stage of the cup, with its fusion variant of course. Red Eyes / Dragon is summoned with Red Eyes Fusion and is the boss monster, but cards like Insight, a great searcher, along with Black Metal Dragon, Red Eyes Archfiend of Lightning, DD Warrior, and even Power of the Guardians can prove extremely important support. The true power of / Dragon comes from its multi-layered effect. When it attacks, you can attach warrior monsters from your grave as an equipped spell to him, and then you can negate targeting effect activations by sending the equipped card to the graveyard. Incredible effect that will stay relevant for Red Eyes for a long time. The monster might be a Joy Wheeler one, but it has been played with multiple skills. Beatdown was the main one before its nerf, but Isizu's No Mortal Can Resist also deserves a mention because of recent events in the KC Cup. Number 3. Masked Heroes. This kind of pains me to say because I really never liked heroes, but they have done amazingly with their fusion decks. First, Destiny and Masked Heroes that got released in the Meta Seas after Valiant Soul's main box. A great box that also featured Canadia had the almighty Masked Hero Anki along with Masked Saints. Two incredible cards for the archetype, because Masked Saints is a quick play fusion card that allows you to summon Anki if your hero monster on the field has the same attribute as him. Then Anki can attack directly even with your opponent having monsters on the field, but for half his attack points. And on top of that, if he destroys a monster, you can get another mask change from your deck to your hand. A-class effect, of course. Decider, Vion and Celestial were the main deck monsters everyone was running when the deck first dominated, but now the deck is back in the meta and it has gotten way more support. Selection Box exclusive Stratos is a huge help to consistency, but even Vision Hero Faris and Vision Hero Increase from Fortress of Gears box are great complementary pieces that have revived the deck to meta status. The deck has even gone through banlist limitations, but some have been reversed, and now by checking my latest tier list videos, you'll find masked heroes there alive and kicking. Number 2. Neos Fusion. Yup, more heroes. This time though, Jaden's elemental heroes. Neos Fusion was released in the homonym EX structure deck and took a while to take charge of the meta, but it is one of the best engines to ever grace Duel Links. It is able to be paired up in a hybrid with so many different stuff, something that skyrockets its flexibility. There was a point where a decent deck paired up with a Neos Fusion engine could go a long way in ranked. The effect allows you to fusion summon from your deck, hand or field, and then Neos Fusion can protect your fusion summoned monster by banishing the card from the graveyard. Alongside Neos Fusion, we of course have Elemental Hero Neos and Brave Neos. Keeper of Dragon Magic and Bacon Saver are also core pieces of the deck. As far as hybrids go, Neos has been seen achieving great success with Desperado Barrel Dragon, Cyber Darks, and even more recently Invoked. The deck reached a point where it was so overwhelming to counter that Konami needed to limit Neos Fusion to 2. The first time ever an EX deck or a card behind a paywall was on the ban list. A bold move by them that still stands to this day, and the deck, while still has a great engine, isn't that competitive. When we see Stratos officially released though, the deck might make a thunderous comeback. And on the number 1 spot, we have Invoked. While Neos Fusion might have a great engine, Invoked have an equally good, if not a better one. The whole archetype got released in the main box called Dark Dimension. Alistair and Invocation are such a strong combo that have also been seen in a lot of different hybrids. Hybrids that also made the tier list and joined the meta. Actually, with Element Sabers Invoked, they are still top tier in the game right now, even after specific banlist implementations for their skills, and they limited to 3 in order to hit their deck specifically. The deck was really good at first, but then became even stronger after the release of Invoked Purgatrio. Alistair can search Invocation, and then Invocation can help you fusion summon by using Alistair as one of the fusion materials, and then either use a correct attribute monster from your field or graveyard, or even from the opponent's graveyard by banishing it. After that, you can send your banished Alistair back in your hand and Invocation will go back in your deck, meaning you can keep fusion summoning by getting Invocation back every turn if you need to. The recycling power is just amazing, and also Alistair can provide you an 1000 point attack and defensive boost if you discard it from your hand, while your fusion monster is either attacking or getting attacked. As you can understand, Invoked can disrupt so many decks, and that is exactly why it has been relevant for so long. Water type fusion with Cocytus, Fire type with Purgatrio, and Earth with Magellanica. These are the main fusion goals, but Calgai is also a mediocre option for the Dark attribute. After the Sorcery Conduit nerf, Destiny Draw has been the main skill of choice for Invoked Element Saber hybrid players. And that's my list. Super interesting that the majority of these decks are still either competitive in the current meta or have the ability to at least get some wins, especially in lower ranks or the first stage of the KC Cup where things are a little bit easier. Do you agree with my list? Or think I forgot something? Tell me in the comments down below, where you can also suggest more topics for discussion. Thank you so much for watching, leave a like and subscribe for more Duel Links videos, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.